We take our Walmart closing saga to Atlanta, Georgia. Got an area in Atlanta, Georgia. We've got two Walmarts. Both were set fire to, and now one of them is going to be reopened, but not as a regular superstore, as just a grocery store, because you got a little issue of a food desert in this area of Atlanta, Georgia. The other one, well, since both stores experienced economic headwinds prior to these fires happening, we're just going to keep one of them just completely closed down. So one opens back up, won't have clothes, all that other good stuff, just have groceries. The other store, not opening it up at all. What's the deal? Let's get into it. Let's see what the dealio is. Walmart reopening Vine City store, closing Howell Mill location. All right. After fire shut down two separate Metro Atlanta Walmarts, one will reopen while the other will be permanently closed. Monday night, the Walmart Corporation announced it has made the decision to reopen its Vine City location. That's the one that they're going to open up as just food. Neighborhood grocery, I believe it's called. The store has been a key access point for residents who would otherwise have to travel miles for fresh produce, but it's been boarded up since mid-December due to a fire set inside. So I did a little research. I did just a scooch of research to see how many Walmarts have had fires in them. And it is shocking. Since like 2009, people have been setting fires in Walmart left and right. What's up with that? Okay, today I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to do a little shoplifting, and then to top it off, just a coup de grace, I'm going to light it on fire. One fire was in the men's clothes section, and the flames were leaping up to like the ceiling. And these are big, tall commercial buildings, right? So you've got a legit massive fire going on that somebody set. It's bad enough that these locations are in areas of, what we're calling food deserts, meaning you got 100 people or more within a half-mile radius who don't have access to a car, and there's no grocery store for them. So we've already got these kinds of areas. And that's why I'm pretty sure the Atlanta officials or somebody on that second Atlanta store we're talking about here, they just, hey, what about if you guys reopen it up, but just open it up grocery? What if you do that? There had to be a little bit of that, because the other buzzword that was used here was economic headwinds. The status of the business has been a source of conversation and worry in the community. People in the area considered it a food desert after the Vine City Publix closed in 2009. Atlanta City Council member Byron Adams, who represents the area, said that his community was fearful this latest closure would create a medical desert where senior citizens would not be able to no longer go right down the street to get their medicine. That sentence makes no sense. But hey, it's a Walmart article. You get what you pay for. Life savings drugs that they need. So word it will reopen, though, as a smaller Walmart neighborhood market is expected to be a relief. Another extremely poorly worded sentence, but you get the idea. Walmart's closing. Walmart in Atlanta is closing. Yeah. So we've been following the saga of, closing Walmarts. We've been following this, and, the broad strokes is that, mainstream media is not really talking about, nobody in official capacity is saying, hey, we got to close these down because of shoplifting. But in all the comments I read, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist it doesn't take a genius. Even a real estate guy can figure this stuff out, right? All right. All the comments on YouTube. Oh, geez. You guys are going hard. You guys are going in hard on this Walmart. And that's what the two Atlanta, those were the comments on the two Atlanta Walmarts were. Hey, it's a rough area, and this is an area where you're going to have shoplifting. So not only do you have shoplifting, you have arson. Arson and shoplifting are impacting these two Walmarts. And it's not funny, from the stand. I mean, I'm kind of laughing because it's like, oh my gosh, arson and shoplifting, and, just organized retail theft, all that stuff that goes with it that we've seen in lots of other communities. This is not just in Atlanta, Georgia. If you haven't been following this channel, I've been covering all of these Walmarts and the locations they're in, kind of the situations that they've got going on. I'm going to cover another one right after this, and it's in Florida. It's in an area of St. Petersburg, kind of Tampa area. And man, I did a quick Google search of that, and they have just shoplifting after shoplifting after shoplifting. People are stealing all kinds of stuff from these stores. That's the bottom line. Those are the stories that don't make it onto mainstream media. Instead, they want to kind of diffuse the situation so it doesn't look like there's, some purposeful why we're shutting it down in these neighborhoods. They go with, there's some economic headwinds. We can't turn a profit. Our profitability standards are not being met. This store does not meet corporate expectations of staying in business is the bottom line, right? So we have had Walmart after Walmart after Walmart, Walgreens after Walgreens. I've focused more on Walmart because Walmart it's a neighborhood store, and it serves in communities. It serves not only as grocery store, affordable groceries, but also medication and goods and services. You got a lot of the reviews I read are about people taking their automobiles there to get fixed at Walmart, which, for tire service, oil change, that kind of thing. Where's your mechanic trained? Walmart? Is that great? I don't know. But, they get decent reviews. I shouldn't say decent across the board. They get okay reviews for affordability and the prices, some of their parts and whatnot. It's inexpensive. So it's an affordable option. But when you're in a situation like where these two stores are in Atlanta, and you've got a already existing food desert problem, I almost guarantee you city officials said, hey, we're down to this, and this as far as grocery stores go. Can you guys just reopen as a grocery store? And that way our, residents of our community won't be able to steal all the other stuff they're normally used to stealing. They'll just be stealing your groceries. Would that work? All right. Okay. I'll go ahead and open her up. But you guys are on a short leash here. If folks in your community are just stealing stuff left and right like they were before they set it on fire, before we had the arson going on, and talk about economic headwinds. I mean, it's not already bad enough you burned up two stores within the same month. I mean, it's like, are you that upset with Walmart? Remember at the beginning when Walmarts were just going gangbusters in all these communities back in like 2000, and I think there was a massive expansion back in 2016. And well before that, there were various levels of when Walmart would, enter into these communities. And the big story was, well, they're going to put all the small businesses out of business. And they did do that. They did some of that because small business can't compete on the broad scale of, whole supply chain and economics that Walmart can, being a massive, I think they have 5,000 stores, something like that. So you think they might get a price break on their supply chain? Yeah, absolutely. That's how they can bring the food and clothes and goods and services at such an inexpensive, price point. And it's a value to these communities that are not located in upper end areas, right? Right? Rarely do you see a Walmart in a super high rent district. It just doesn't happen. The numbers aren't there. You don't have the shoppers, number one. And number two, the economic numbers of commercial space and where you're getting your goods from and all that, they just don't work. You don't have enough shoppers. Now here in Bellevue, I think we have one Walmart, but it's a real small store. And it's nothing crazy. It's not a superstore. Cause I remember, shopping here in Bellevue, and it's just a small store. And then going to like a legit mega superstore, I think over east of the mountains shortly after, one was opened up in, I can't remember what city it was. But when I went in there, I was like, oh my gosh, this is enormous. This is, it was like an indoor amusement park kind of like feeling, right? You're just like, oh my, we got restaurants, we got this, we got that, it was just one of those big, massive shopping experiences. To me, I found it overwhelming, but I was in and out of there. I think I was getting stuff for some concert I was going to, probably some 3-day weekend. Who knows? As you do, you look up, okay, I need that item. Where am I going to get that? Oh, I can get that. Oh, I can get that probably too at Walmart. Let's go there. And so you do. And that's how I ended up there. I don't normally, I just don't go to Walmart. We don't have very many of them here. And I'd have to really go out of my way to get to one. But, that might be the same in your community. But the communities where for the majority of where these are located, they're lower socioeconomic because that is their business model, is providing affordable goods and services to the local community. And so when you pull them out, it, throws a whole wrench in the works. And you guys are going to say, yeah, it throws a whole wrench in the works of the shoplifters who rely upon it to steal stuff and then go sell it on the open market, black market, and get their money for their next fix, their next hit. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, right? So while the Vine City Walmart will eventually reopen after it gets renovated and remodeled into just a grocery store, another metro area store will be permanently closed. The Howell Mill location was shuttered after a fire at the end of 2022. Video shared with Fox 5 shows the flames shooting up to 20 feet to just under the light fixtures in the men's clothing section as people evacuated the store. A store spokesperson told Fox 5 that economic headwinds existed at the store before the alleged arson, and they did at the other store too. I read that as well. So you're like, okay, tough area, got some shoplifting, you got some arson going on. And, arson in these stores is not as unique as you would think. I don't hear about a lot of arson here in, Seattle area, but I don't hear about a lot of stuff because we're kind of this small backwoods. People want to say that we're just this big international city, which you can make the argument that our economic base, our employment centers are just that, but we're kind of out of the way. Seattle's kind of out of the way of everything. And so it kind of feels like, you got to travel like 3 hours just to get down to Portland. That's the next really big city. And, a couple hours up to Bellingham, but that doesn't count. So we got Tacoma down to the south, but Tacoma's it's got its own stuff going on. So we're kind of out here on our own, but you still don't hear about a lot of stores getting arsoned. You know what I mean? Getting just, let's light it on fire. You hear about boats getting lit on fire. I talked about that with the Ship Canal Bridge at the beginning of the week. And last week I paddleboarded over to the Ship Canal Bridge, and there was an area where 50 boats had been set on fire in a boat storage facility that's on the water. So I paddled up and just took some video footage, and it was $8.5 million worth of 50 boats. So now you hear about boats here in the Pacific Northwest being set on fire, but not necessarily Walmart. So that's a new one for me. That's a new one. A store spokesperson told Fox 5 that economic headwinds existed at the store before the alleged arson. Unlike Vine City, Walmart does not have the ability to repurpose the Howell Mill Road location due to its site restrictions. We will work with Mayor Dickens and his office to find a new use or business for the site, the spokesperson said. A time frame has not been announced for when the Vine City Walmart will reopen. Okay. Thoughts on this? So you can't repurpose the Howell Mill Road location due to site restrictions. My instincts are, okay, you're basically doing a down zone, right? You're taking a store that once did all of this stuff, had general zoning for everything, and you're down zoning it to just grocery store. So why, if you're downgrading it to that, could you not do it to the other store? I don't know. There's probably a logical answer there, but again, from Walmart, we've had Walmart CEO came out in December and said, hey, we're going to close down stores or raise your prices. Those are your two options. Which one you want to do? He wasn't even asking. He was just like, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going down. And he has held true to his word, and they are shutting down a bunch of stores. And this one here in Atlanta, Georgia is one. So why the other store couldn't be reopened? I'm going to go with, hey, it was bleeding out money and they just don't want to. And that is strictly my opinion. But that's why we're here, right? We're here to talk about what we're thinking about, not necessarily what is absolutely, here it is in concrete. Well, what we do know in concrete is people steal a lot of stuff from Walmart. And when they steal enough stuff from Walmart in any given community, Walmart does their review of profitability. They've got that little devil on their shoulder of the investors going, you got to make us money, got to make us money, got to make us money. They've got that, speaking in their ear. They don't have the good, the angel on the other one going, yeah, but treat your people nicely, treat your employees nicely, and treat the members of your community nicely. That's not a thing. It's, do we make money? And if the store doesn't make money, then it goes on the chopping block and it gets whacked. And that's what we're covering, literally dozens of Walmarts that are getting the whackola right now. And they're going by the wayside. Now, what we're seeing so often is community members not recognizing that shoplifting, organized theft, which is a byproduct a lot from the drug addiction going on in communities and theft in general in communities, not attributing that to the Walmart closures. A lot of folks are just, kind of feeling like they're in the dark. But if you really put the two together and you think about how much stuff is walking out the front door of your Walmart, I think about it here in Home Depot in Bellevue. This is here in Bellevue. I don't know why so many criminals are coming to Bellevue to rob the Home Depot store, but it's a lot. And I read stories about that. I'm like, another one of those deals at Home Depot. Yeah, what's going on? Well, there aren't that many Home Depots around. So there's two Home Depots, close by, one in Bellevue and one in Redmond. So I guess if you're coming over from Seattle, just coming across the bridge and you're like, where should I go shopping to? Oh, I mean, shoplifting today. Yeah. Walmart Bellevue. It's as good as any. It's close to the freeway. You got your getaway escape. And, so, why wouldn't you? But you don't see that, Home Depot being set on fire either. So economic headwinds being a code word, corporate expectations not being met financially, another code word for, shoplifting and shenanigans are the reason that Walmart is no longer opening back up this store. They're going to do one, but not the other. So I'm going to keep digging on this one because I think there's other stuff in this story behind the scenes. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just seeing shadows. But what's so interesting is that of all the stories I've read on all these closures, not one mention of shoplifting. How can that be? I mean, from like a legit news source, a company spokesperson, company isn't going to come right out and say, hey, we're leaving your community because you guys are stealing all our that's not a good look. Cause what if they do open up a store down the road? Hey, you're that corporation. And so many communities have already had issues with Walmart, right? We don't want you in our community. Don't leave our community. People have gotten used to the whole Walmart shopping experience. And then when the Walmart, tends to leave, there was a guy in one of the videos I played yesterday in, where was that? Was that Illinois? It might've been Illinois, Chicago. And, he was like, this is really sad. I've shopped here every day for the last, whatever it is, 20 years. And, it almost feels like a loss in the family for these people who rely upon this for their food and their medication and all kinds of other stuff as well. But these folks need to take a look at, why this is going on in their community. And the vast majority of people, I think, already know. They just don't want to come right out and admit it. Hey, we got a massive shoplifting problem because we got a massive drug issue. Let's get down to work here and let's start working on some solutions. Well, in a lot of these cities, you don't have that ability because you don't have the resources to fix it. So these communities are literally losing all of their stores and they're having to go elsewhere, further out. And so that creates further void because nobody wants to live there except the people that can't afford to move out. So oftentimes I'll see in the comment section, well, just leave, just move out. Pacific Northwest is dead. Leave while you can. Well, that's not exactly true. And I'm not leaving anytime soon. There's enough good things in Seattle that I want to stick around for. And I believe city leadership in Seattle, they are heading in the right direction. It's just going to be a slow grind. We got our mayor did 900 sweeps of encampments in 2022. Our prosecutor is going after criminals. They got the high utilizer offender program where they're throwing people in jail here in Seattle. Believe it or not. I know it's shocking, but we've been going in the right direction. It's just, we were up against a wall after the pandemic. Most cities were that had allowed this kind of stuff to go on. The shoplifting, the drug use, the homeless encampments, all of that. Stealing became like a full-time economic opportunity during the pandemic. But I think it's always been, it got exacerbated as the drug use went up and people kind of just focused on, okay, what is available for me to steal? Let's go into these downtown cores and we'll bash out some windows and we'll run in and rob. Remember how much of that we had? The dash and grabs. We had a ton of that. And then we've had to figure out ways with law enforcement to kind of work our way back. And a lot of stores have closed. I have covered so many local stores that have closed or have had break-ins. This is what folks are dealing with. So a lot of folks in retail, they just don't want to do it anymore because it's gotten so expensive. And that's why I think as a last stand, you're kind of seeing Walmarts going down in these communities, just not being able to make a go of it. So as you'll see in a lot of these comments on YouTube regarding these topics, a lot of folks say, if Walmart can't make a go of it, that really tells you something about what's going on, doesn't it? And it does. But remember, these are Walmarts located in areas where politicians, political leadership has gone down roads, oftentimes defund the police, not supporting their cops, basically encouraging drug use and encouraging theft by their laws and not prosecuting and not keeping criminals in jail. You put that all together and you've just got this perfect recipe in 2023 for Walmart to say, nope. The economic opportunities and goals and expectations of corporate were not met at this store. We've enjoyed serving this community for years and years on end. But moving forward, maybe you guys can shop at some of our other stores that aren't having quite so much stuff shoplifted. 5-finger discount right out the front door. Maybe you guys could shop there. Now, they don't say that, but they do say, hey, we got other stores. And a really good example is downtown Portland. It has lost its last 2 Walmarts in the incorporated city of Portland. Portland proper has 0 Walmarts left. That's weird. Yeah. You've got Walmarts in the outerlying communities, in the outerlying burbs. But you've also got less crime there. In incorporated Portland, they're out. They just recently, in this recent spate of closures, kind of beginning of 2023, after their CEO said, hey, we're going to be shutting some down, or this is going to be an end result of, criminal activity going on. Portland being kind of the poster child for here's what happens to your community if even a Walmart can't make a go of it financially. Store gets pulled, store gets yanked. And the people who can afford to, who can least afford to shoulder the burden of having a food desert in their community, they're the ones it happens to. So, you got to look at all this policy and kind of consider, okay, what are the end run ramifications? If they shut this store down, fewer people in the community, fewer people want to live there, fewer jobs. It just exponentially grows. And Walmart is often one of the last stores to pull out because they can make a go of it on affordability. Other stores, not so much. Smaller stores, independent stores, not so much. They can't take the heat of all the shoplifting and the organized retail theft that's going on. All right. That's it for me on this one. Another Walmart bites the dust. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I would love to have you as a subscriber. Hit the like button if you enjoyed watching this video. Hit the notification bell. That sends you notification each time we drop a video, which is twice a day, Monday through Friday, once on Saturday, once on Sunday. Also, I was going to tell you 9 a.m. Seattle time, Pacific Coast time. I am on the live chats on our premieres. So if you go to our channel and see a video that's premiering, I'm there. You can chat with me. If you want to send me a message, go to our premiere. I'm typically there sometimes for whatever reason, running these other real estate companies. I got to do something. But most of the time I try and be there from 9 o'clock until whenever the video ends, usually like 9 to 9:30. And we've got a great community there of people that, just want to talk about stuff and just, get their ideas out there as well. So love to have you join. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch up on the next one. Bye for now.